Dust swirls in the wind. A lioness circles the well, fast, low, shoulders coiled tight, golden eyes locked on the pit. She growls, circles again, snaps her jaws at the air, then she roars, deep and broken, and lunges at the edge. Loose dirt crumbles. Her paw swipes downward into darkness. Misses. She backs off, circles again. Whoa! Is she hunting something? A voice asks from behind binoculars. The safari truck sits 50 yards away, engine off. 10 tourists crouch behind the railings, whispering through camera lenses. Caleb, the guide, squints from the driver's seat, brow furrowed. That's not hunting behavior. Then what is it? Asks Hannah, an American travel blogger, live streaming with one hand and narrating into her phone. I don't know, he mutters, reaching for the scope. The lioness growls again, louder now. Not a threat, something else. She rushes the well's edge and lunges again. Both front paws dig at the dirt, her face inches over the side. She snarls, then lets out a noise that makes everyone freeze. A cry, muffled, faint. Was that a cub? Someone says. Caleb snaps the scope into place, adjusts the focus. Everyone stay quiet, he whispers. She's not alone. He sees it. 2 tiny golden paws, mud-streaked, clawing helplessly up the stone wall. The cub slips back down into shadow. A weak, trembling mew rises up. The lioness lets out a low moan and scrapes at the edge with her front paw, frantically, throwing clumps of dirt into the air. Her tail lashes like a whip. Tourists begin to murmur, she's trying to get him out. She can't reach. Oh my God. She's going to jump in, Hannah whispers, half horrified. No, Caleb says, eyes locked on the scene. She knows she won't get out. The lioness lunges again, but there's no traction, no grip. She paces, circles. The tension is unbearable. She's trapped, Caleb says softly, and so is he. One tourist reaches for a radio. Can we call someone? A vet? A drone? Nearest ranger team's 2 hours out, Caleb replies. Everyone falls silent. The lioness stands at the edge again and lets out a long, guttural moan, one that echoes across the open plain. It's not a roar. It's not anger. It's grief. And that's when the ground trembles, a deep, heavy thud, then another. Through the grass, something massive moves toward them, silent as a shadow, but shaking the earth beneath its feet. An elephant, gray, towering, wrinkled skin catching the sun. She emerges slowly from the tree line, trunk swaying low. A matriarch. Alone. Hannah gasps. Is she going to chase the lion off? No, Caleb whispers. She's walking toward the well. The lioness sees her. The 2 predators face each other. Neither growls. Neither backs down. And every person in that truck forgets to breathe. The air is heavy, like the savanna is holding its breath. The lioness plants her paws wide, shielding the well. Her ears flatten. Muscles twitch beneath her coat. Across from her, the elephant stands still, enormous, calm, trunk low and swaying. Caleb tightens his grip on the binoculars. If she charges, the elephant could flatten her. Hannah keeps filming, breath caught. What's it doing? The lioness snarls low, warning. Her body tenses like a drawn bow. But the elephant doesn't flinch. Instead, she takes 1 step closer, then another. Her trunk rises slowly, sniffing the air. The lioness crouches, teeth bared. Tourists gasp. One man whispers, "This is it." Caleb squints. No, wait, look at her eyes. The lioness's growl breaks into a whine. She glances down into the well. Back up. Her chest rises in quick, ragged breaths. She's not guarding prey, she's begging. Inside the well, a weak cry echoes again, high-pitched, fading. The cub's voice is breaking. The elephant hears it. She shifts her weight, steps closer. Dust puffs beneath her feet. The lioness doesn't move. She yields. Her ears flatten, tail twitching, but she steps aside. Every camera clicks at once. Tourists lean forward, whispering prayers, recording history. The elephant steps beside the well. Her trunk hovers over the edge. She peers down, still and focused. She knows, Caleb breathes. Gently, deliberately, the elephant lowers her trunk into the hole. It disappears into shadow. "She's reaching for him," Hannah says, her voice cracking. Caleb radios headquarters. "We've got an active cross-species interaction. Elephant assisting injured lion cub. Repeat, elephant assisting lion cub. Documenting now." Dust swirls around the elephant's legs. Her body tenses as she shifts, adjusting her footing. The well's lip crumbles slightly. She doesn't stop. The lioness steps back, watching silently, tail still. No growl, no charge, no fear, only hope. The elephant's trunk flexes, dips deeper. Then a tug, a mule, louder now. "She's got him," Caleb whispers. The elephant raises her trunk, slow and trembling, careful as glass. At the tip, a tiny cub, slick with mud, eyes wide, body limp but alive. The tourist gasp in unison. She places the cub gently on the ground just beyond the well, steps back, waits. The lioness rushes forward, tail raised. She sniffs, licks the cub's head. He mews weakly, blinking up at her. She lifts him by the scruff, limping, stumbling, and walks away into the tall grass. Not once does she look back, but the elephant does. She watches until the grass sways still, then turns, and begins to walk. No ceremony, no roar, just a quiet retreat. In the truck, no one speaks. Hannah lowers her phone, tears streaming. "I thought I was filming a hunt," she whispers. Caleb starts the engine without a word. They didn't witness violence. They witnessed mercy. The elephant's footsteps fade into the grass, but the silence she leaves behind is deafening. The tour truck sits still, no one daring to break the moment. Caleb exhales slowly, resting his hand on the steering wheel. "She didn't just stumble on them," he says. "She heard the cub." Hannah blinks through misted eyes. She helped them. No one argues. Out on the plain, the matriarch moves at her own pace, slow, powerful, purposeful. Her wrinkled skin glistens with dust and heat. Each step seems heavier than the last. "She's old," Caleb murmurs. "Older than most out here." He flips open his logbook. "That's Nyaru. She's been on this land since I started guiding tours. Lost a calf about 5 seasons ago. Drought took him. She stayed beside the body for 2 days." Hannah looks up, stunned. "She mourned?" "She grieved," he says. "Didn't eat, didn't move, just rocked back and forth like she was trying to keep him warm." They watch as Nyaru pauses beside a fallen tree. She brushes her trunk along the bark, slow, as if remembering something only she can feel. The drone camera above zooms in. She's humming. A low, rumbling vibration rolls from her chest. It's not a warning. It's soft, musical, comforting, almost maternal. Caleb narrates for the group now, voice quiet. Elephants remember pain. They remember faces. And sometimes they remember loss so deep it changes the way they see everything. Back at the well, the only sign left of what happened is a patch of disturbed earth and one muddy paw print. But for Nyaru, the moment hasn't passed. She moves to the edge of a shallow watering hole, stops, and gazes at her own reflection. Her trunk dips into the water, not to drink, but to wash the mud from her skin. The same mud that coated the lion cub. As she finishes, a breeze kicks up, lifting dust and dry grass around her. In that instant, the entire savanna seems to slow. A giraffe pauses in the distance. A flock of birds lifts into the sky. And Nyaru, the elephant who once lost her calf to the dry season, stands alone again. But lighter. Hannah presses her forehead to the side of the truck. "I thought she was going to attack." "She could have," Caleb says, "but she didn't." He looks over his shoulder at the tourists, every one of them silent, watching the giant fade into the gold. "She didn't just help," he adds. "She chose to." The wind dies. The lioness stands at the well's edge, tail still, breathing shallow. Her cub lies in a heap at her feet, mud-soaked, shivering, alive. But it's not over, not yet. The elephant, Nyaru, remains motionless. Her trunk hovers inches from the cub, frozen in midair. Her eyes are wide, not with fear, but calculation. How much pressure? How deep is the fall? How fragile is something that small? She waits. The lioness doesn't growl, doesn't move. Her body is low, tense, but not hostile. She just watches. Nyaru slowly lifts her trunk again. The cub mews, and this time she lowers it toward him. She brushes the side of his face. The cub blinks, reaches up, instinctively trying to nurse from the tip of her trunk. The elephant stills completely. Then, with her trunk's tip curled in a gentle loop, she nudges beneath the cub's belly, lifts. He flails weakly, mud sloughing off in sheets. His limbs twitch, he squeaks. But she's steady. She raises him fully off the ground, 2 feet, 4, 6, until his tiny body hovers above the well's edge. Tourists gasp. One sobs aloud. No one blinks. The lioness creeps forward, slow and silent, not in threat, but in readiness. And then Nyaru does something no one expects. She places the cub down, not toward the lioness, but between them. Neutral ground. He lands in the dust with a soft thud, blinks, cries out again. The lioness rushes forward. She nudges him with her nose, licks his back, checks for wounds. Her body curls around him instantly, protective, primal. But before she picks him up, she looks up, at the elephant. Their eyes meet. Seconds pass. Then Nyaru backs away, 1 step, 2, her massive frame careful not to stir the wind. She turns, begins walking, slowly, no rush, no sound, just presence. The lioness watches her leave. And this time, she doesn't roar. She lifts the cub gently by the scruff, turns toward the tall grass, and vanishes. Back in the safari truck, Hannah is sobbing behind her sunglasses. Caleb lowers the binoculars. "Did you get that?" he asks. Hannah shakes her head. "I got the footage," she says, "but not the feeling." A week later, the footage goes viral. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. No narration, no cuts, just a lioness pacing, a cub's cry, an elephant's trunk reaching into a well. The caption reads, "Elephant saves lion cub, witnessed by tourists in Kenya." Within hours, the world is watching. News anchors blink in disbelief. Animal behaviorists argue on panels. Scientists dissect frame-by-frame footage. But the public doesn't need science to understand what they saw. They saw compassion. Back at the sanctuary, the staff play the clip again, this time on a big screen inside the education center. Caleb stands by the door, arms folded, watching groups of school kids fall silent. Hannah is there too, crouched beside a display table stacked with photos, notes, and drawings from around the world. One reads, "I didn't know elephants could care like that." Another, "My son says the elephant was the hero." A little girl in the front row turns and asks, "Why did she help a lion?" No one answers right away. Then Caleb says softly, "Because she knew what it meant to lose a baby." In the weeks that follow, Nyaru is seen again, briefly. She crosses the same clearing alone, her steps slower than before. But something's changed. Now when tour trucks spot her, they don't back up. They watch. In reverence, artists paint murals of a trunk lifting a cub from a pit. Musicians write songs. One short film wins an International Wildlife Award. Dr. Reyes, from the Nairobi Institute, publishes a report. Interspecies Empathy in High-Order Mammals, the Elephant and the Lioness Case. But the footage needs no title, because even without words, the world understood. It wasn't instinct, it wasn't training, it wasn't dominance or hierarchy or food. It was choice. A moment where one giant remembered her pain and chose not to walk away when someone else cried. Back at the well, there is now a sign, a wooden plaque, mounted beside the trail. "Here," a lioness cried, and an elephant listened. Beneath it sits a stone carving, a mother elephant, trunk curved downward, not in defense, but in mercy. The wild doesn't speak our language, but it listens, it remembers, and sometimes it forgives. This wasn't instinct. It wasn't chance. It was an elephant, a grieving mother, choosing to help the one animal we all assumed would be her enemy. And in that moment, everything we thought we knew about nature changed. Because this story isn't about predator or prey. It's about compassion. It's about choice. Tell us in the comments, do you believe animals feel more than we understand? Share this story with someone who still thinks empathy belongs only to humans. Subscribe for more stories that prove the wild has a heart, and it's beating louder than ever.